The legendary Jamaica Boys and Girls Athletics Championships just wrapped up in Kingston, and the Sprint Factory has done it again. Over 2,000 high school athletes descended on the National Stadium for 5 days of pure speed. And what happened there has college recruiters scrambling and professional scouts taking notes. Because in the space of just a few races, Jamaica may have found their next global superstar. Her name is Shanoya Douglas, and at 17 years old, she just announced herself to the world in the most spectacular way possible. Running for Holland High School, Douglas didn't just win her races. She obliterated records that have stood for years and sent shockwaves through the international athletics community. The 100-meter final was supposed to be competitive. Douglas made it look like a training run. She exploded out of the blocks at the National Stadium in Kingston, her form picture-perfect as she powered down the straight. The clock stopped at 10.98 seconds, a world-leading time, the fastest any under-20 woman has run this year anywhere on the planet. But Douglas wasn't finished. 3 days later, she lined up for the 200 meters, the event where she already held a world under-20 bronze medal. The humid Kingston evening air was electric with anticipation as the 8 fastest teenage sprinters in Jamaica took their marks. The gun fired, and Douglas took the curve like she owned it. Coming off the turn, she was already 3 meters clear. Down the home straight, she pulled away even further, her stride long and powerful as she crossed the finish line with daylight between her and the field. 22.36 seconds, a new Jamaican under-20 record, breaking the mark set by Brianna Williams back in 2018. To put that performance in perspective, Douglas now sits 10th on the World Under-20 all-time lists in both the 100 and 200 meters. At 17 years old, she's running times that most professional sprinters would be thrilled to achieve. The international athletics world is taking notice, and the World Under-20 Championships in Oregon later this year just became a lot more interesting. But here's what makes Jamaica's sprint program so terrifying for the rest of the world. Douglas wasn't even the only teenager breaking records at these championships. 18-year-old Riquelme Reid delivered a masterclass in the boys' 100 meters. Reid, carrying the expectations as the pre-race favorite, handled the pressure like a veteran. When the gun fired at the National Stadium, Reid was out fast and never looked back. 10.12 seconds, a time that would have won most professional races this season. After crossing the line, Reid was characteristically calm about his dominance. "I am a nonchalant character, but I don't fear anyone," he told reporters. "I knew I wanted to win and came out here and executed properly." Then there's 15-year-old Jason Pitter, who just became the fastest under-18 quarter-miler on the planet this year. In the boys' 400 meters, Pitter ran a championship record of 45.76 seconds. 15 years old, running a time that would have been competitive in most college conferences. The World Under-18 leader, destroying a field of older competitors with the kind of tactical awareness you'd expect from someone twice his age. The field events weren't immune to the record-breaking fever either. Joseph Salmon launched the discus 67.55 meters to break the Jamaican under-20 record and move to 8th on the World Under-20 all-time list. Addison James, originally from the Dominican Republic but now representing Jamaica, broke the championship record in the javelin with a throw of 70.3 meters. Even the hurdles events got in on the action. Tiana Marshall set a championship record of 12.98 in the semifinals of the girls' Class 1 100-meter hurdles, becoming the first in her class to break the 13-second barrier before battling a strong headwind to win the final the next day. Marquise Page bounced back from a heartbreaking false start in the 100 meters earlier in the championships to set his own Class 2 record, miraculously clocking that exact same time of 12.98 in the boys' 110-meter hurdles. But perhaps the most remarkable thing about these championships wasn't just the individual performances. It was the depth of talent on display. Natrice East, still only 16, dominated the girls' 100 meters in 11.21 seconds, slashing more than 3/10 off her personal best. Kai Kelly, a 15-year-old prodigy from Jamaica College, overcame a slow start to win his 100 meters in 10.28 seconds. The emotional heart of the championships came from Kevin Gay Fowler, who won the under-16 girls 1,500 meters and dedicated her victory to her former training partner, Tanyisha Gale, who tragically lost her life during a training session last September. Moments like these remind you that behind all the records and times, these are still teenagers pursuing their dreams. Rain delays couldn't dampen the atmosphere at the National Stadium. When the weather cleared, athletes like Sanjay Seymour delivered clutch performances, retaining his under-19 200-meter title despite challenging conditions. Nastasia Fletcher and Kellyanne Carr engaged in an epic battle in the senior 400-meter hurdles, with Fletcher emerging victorious in a world under 20, leading 56.70 seconds. When the dust settled after 5 days of competition, the team standings told their own story. Jamaica College secured their 23rd boys title, while Edwin Allen claimed their 11th girls championship. These aren't just high schools, they're sprint factories that have produced Olympic medalists, world record holders, and the fastest humans in history. The college recruitment game has already begun in earnest. American universities are lining up with scholarship offers that could change these teenagers' lives overnight. Professional management companies are making their pitches. Shoe companies are paying attention, because they all know what Jamaica's track and field program has proven time and again. Today's high school record holder could be tomorrow's Olympic champion. Shanoya Douglas represents everything that makes Jamaica's athletics program so special. She's technically sound, mentally tough, and blessed with natural speed that can't be taught. Her 10.98 and 22.36 performances aren't just fast times, they're statements of intent. They announce to the world that Jamaica's pipeline of sprint talent shows no signs of slowing down. It's one thing to dominate the high school circuit, but translating that raw teenage speed into sustained professional dominance is the ultimate crucible. The transition requires navigating a gauntlet of immense physical demands, sudden fame, and the heavy burden of national expectations. Yet, watching Douglas power through the curve, you see a maturity that belies her age. She runs with the relaxed, effortless biomechanics that define Olympic champions, rather than the strained desperation often seen in junior athletes. This isn't just a fleeting peak, it is the foundation of a long, historic career. The blueprint for greatness is already there. The World Under-20 Championships in Oregon can't come fast enough. Douglas will arrive as one of the favorites in both her events, carrying the hopes of a nation that has produced Usain Bolt, Shelley Ann Fraser-Price, and Elaine Thompson-Herah. The pressure would crush most teenagers. For Douglas, it seems to fuel her. As the athletes packed up their spikes and headed home from the National Stadium in Kingston, the message was clear. Jamaica's sprint factory is operating at full capacity. The next generation of global superstars is ready to take the world by storm. And Shanoya Douglas is leading the charge. The rest of the world better take notice. Jamaica just found their next track superstar, and she's just getting started.